What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to Talking Sports with Jake. We got another great show for you guys. Big move in MLB free agency yesterday. Actually happened in the evening, I believe. Carlos Correa has signed. He goes to the San Francisco Giants. 13 years, $350 million. Huge contract for Correa. That is the fourth largest contract in MLB history and the largest contract for a shortstop in MLB history. He gets a huge deal. He goes to the Giants. Giants had a big bat. The Giants been in on everybody. They added Mitch Hangier to boost their outfield. Tried to get Aaron Judge. Almost did. We thought he did. John Heyman at least thought they did. Of course, he ended up going back to the Yankees, so they weren't able to get him. But they were able to have Carlos Correa. Yesterday, they also had Ross Stripling. I'm not sure if they have him join the rotation or come out of the bullpen. They are still in on Carlos Rodon. I think they have a good shot to re-sign because the Yankees are one of the only main teams I'm hearing right now that are seriously in on him. And supposedly they were supposed to make him this week a formal offer. And supposedly they're very far apart on their offer. Now the Yankees apparently are their fullback option is Nathan Eovaldi. Maybe bring him back as ex-Yankee. More risky with the Boston Red Sox. So I don't know if Giants re-signed Rodon, and it's a team that last year was 500. If they bring back Rodon and then you bring in Carlos Correa and Mitch Hangier, and you also add Ross Stripling, although they may only be third in their division, this team could still easily be a playoff team. So Giants continue to make moves. Kansas City Royals make a move. They signed Ryan Yarbrough from Tampa Bay Ray, 1 year, $3 million. He was mainly a reliever, but he also did start. He was, a big part of the Rays opener strategy. They start a reliever for like 2 or 3 innings, and they have like a bulk guy go another 2 or 3 innings. And from there, they use guys 1 inning at a time. Tough year for him last year. A lot of injuries. Only pitching 20 games, including 9 starts. Had ERA around 4.5. But in the past, he's been a very reliable reliever who's done some opening. He goes to Kansas City. And the Rays trade J.P. Feyereisen to the Dodgers for a prospect. Feyereisen last year, 24 of their innings, not giving up a single run in 24 of their innings. Bit smaller sample size, but still 24 in 3 innings, no runs is still really, really good. So Dodgers added a reliever. Rays have lost a couple of pieces in their bullpen. Of course, they have so much depth at the bullpen, but they trade Brooks Raley to the Mets. You trade J.P. Feyereisen to the Dodgers, and then you lose Ryan Yarbrough in free agency. So they've also Rays lose a couple of bullpen pieces. Interesting there to see how they respond. And then you have Pierce Johnson goes to Colorado. That was reported about a week ago. 1 year, $5 million. He had not such a great year last year. He had an ERA in the high 4s. He had a bunch of injuries. Didn't pitch much, but overall, he had an ERA of 3.39 over the last 3 seasons in San Diego. Did have a strong 3-year run. San Diego 2020, 2021 was a very reliable middle relief option for San Diego. He goes to Colorado, who's been trying to improve their bullpen. They have the worst bullpen in National League last year, a 4.85 bullpen ERA, trying to improve that. Yeah, that's what we got for MLB free agency so far. There's still a few guys out there. Dansby Swanson is still available. Supposedly the Dodgers are in on him. Of course, they just lost Trey Turner. Could they pivot to Swanson? Carlos Rodon's still out there. Giants are still on him. The Yankees are talking to him. There's some guys out there. We'll see what happens. Now on to hockey. You had I'm not going to do a score today. There wasn't too much action. Just talk about the standings. Eastern Conference got Boston's on top of the road right now, 23-4-1, and they had a bunch of key guys out to start the year. They are rolling, 47 points. They are rolling. Devils are at 44 points. They are in second. Toronto also has 44. Devils have a game in hand. Toronto's playing great. Carolina is 4th for 38 points. Pittsburgh also has 38 points, but Carolina's got a game in hand. Tampa's at 37. Islanders and Rangers both have 35. That rounds out the Eastern Conference. You got Washington to point out. They're playing better. They won 5 in a row. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. He had a hat trick last night in their win over Chicago. And he now has 800 career goals for his career. He is the 3rd player in NHL history, along with Wayne Gretzky and Gordie Howe, to have 800 career goals. Congratulations to Alex Ovechkin. He's 1 goal away from tying Gordie Howe for second all-time on the all-time goals list. looks like he might pass Wayne Gretzky. Obviously not in points. No one's going to ever sniff Gretzky in points. He's the greatest player in Angel history. But it looks like he's going to pass Gretzky in goals eventually. If he scores 2 more, he will have sublimation of second place in Angel history when it comes to goals. He may be the greatest goal scorer in the history of the sport. One player, one career he's had. He's still going strong. In Detroit, Detroit's 3 points out. Florida 3 points out. Tough stuff for Florida. A lot of expectations. They're only 11 beneath. Montreal 5 points out. And rounding out the East is Buffalo, Ottawa, Philly, and Columbus. Columbus, they land Johnny Gaudreau, and now they're the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Tough year so far for them. West, you got Vegas leading the West with 43 points. Their team also has a lot of talent on offense. We're sure if the gold play would hold up after you lose Robin Leonard for the year and didn't bring in anybody else, but it's held up. Dallas is in second with 39 points. Winnipeg Jets in third with 37 points. Seattle Kraken in fourth, 35. Kings also have 35 points, but Kraken have 4 games in hand. They've only played 28 games this year. Got the Oilers with 34 points. Avalanche with 32. Minnesota also has 32. Carlisle has a game in hand. Carlisle's only played 27 games this year. Carlisle, a lot of injuries right now, but they're hanging around the defending champs. Colorado's supposed to be Calgary to point out. Nashville's 5 points out. It's Vancouver and St. Louis. St. Louis is struggling. And then San Jose, Arizona, Chicago, and Anaheim round out West. Differential standings, East. There's been a bunch of surprising teams. No one thought the Boston Bruins would be this good, especially coming out of the gate because of their injuries. No one thought the Devils would be anything close to this good. The Islanders are slumping, but a little bit. They dropped down to 7th. They're in tie for 7th with the Rangers, but a lot of people didn't think that they took the way they did. They were top 4 at one point in the East. The West, especially, I don't think a lot of people thought they should be this good because of the goaltending. The whole top 4, I don't think anyone saw Dallas being in second place in the West. Winnipeg, I don't thought would be this good. Seattle, definitely not. Colorado, and then even on the other end, flip back to the East, Florida's struggling. Washington's not been as good as we thought at all. The Columbus Blue Jackets, who aren't world beaters, we thought they'd be at least a little bit. We didn't think they'd be in last place in the entire conference. And you flip back to the West, obviously no one foresaw Colorado losing all the guys they've lost and barely being in the playoffs. Minnesota we thought would be a little better. I would even say Calgary, who we thought would be a little bit better. They do lose 2 big guys. You lose back to Kachuk and Johnny Gaudreau, but in that trade for Kachuk, you got back a lot. You get back Jonathan Huberdeau, you got back Mackenzie Weegar's a great player. They still got a real good core over there. The Blues are underperforming to a very serious extent. A lot of people thought they'd be a lot better, at least in the playoffs. So a lot of craziness happening in the hockey world. Talk about some college basketball. First, let's do the rankings. Top 25, you had ranking for week 6 just came out. Purdue remains at number 1. You have Virginia at number 2. UConn's ranked 3rd. Used to the women's team. The men's team usually isn't that high, so kudos to them. Alabama is ranked 4th. Houston's ranked 5th. Tennessee is ranked 6th. Texas is number 7. Kansas is ranked 8th. Arizona is at 9. Arkansas at 10. Baylor at 11. Duke at 12. Kentucky at 13. Indiana at 14. Gonzaga at 15. UCLA at 16. Mississippi State at 17. Illinois at 18, Auburn at 19, Maryland at 20th, TCU at 21st, Wisconsin 22nd, Ohio State 23rd, Virginia Tech 24th, and Miami rounds out the rankings at 25th. Those are your college basketball rankings for this week. On to NBA. Games from last night, you had the big one was the Celtics against the Lakers. Celtics blow a 20-point lead. Lakers come all the way back. Hang on to win in overtime, 122-118. Jason Tatum, 44 points, 9 rebounds, 6 assists. He is having a huge year. Might be MVP of the league. Sixers over the Kings, 123-103. James Harden, 21 points, 15 assists in that one. We had Joel Embiid come out and said that he thinks some of the fans want him traded. That's an interesting comment from him. We'll see how that goes over in Philly. Bucks over the Warriors, 128-111. Bobby Portis, 25 points, 11 rebounds. He had a nice game. Warriors continue to struggle. They are just they are a 500 team through 28 games. They are 2-12 on the road. Weird. At home, they're 12-2, but they're 2-12 on the road. I don't know what's going on in Golden State. Rockets over the Suns, 111-97. Jalen Green, 26 points, 7 rebounds. Suns are struggling. They've lost 5 in a row. They're also struggling on the road. They're 4-9 on the road. They have lost 5 in a row. Chris Paul just 16 points. They're struggling. Jazz over the Pelicans, 121-100. Jared Vanderbilt adds 18 points, 4 rebounds for Utah. And those are the games from last night. Let's take a look at the NBA standings. Eastern Conference, Boston, who got back on the horse last night after they lost 2 straight. Their main best team in the league, 22-7. You have Milwaukee's only a game back on them. They're playing really well. At 27, they're in second. At 30, you have Cleveland. Brooklyn is ranked 4th. Brooklyn's playing really well. Jacques Vaughn has done a really good job with them. Their interim head coach, he's done a good job. You have the Sixers, who are ranked 5th. Knicks are playing well. The Knicks have won 4 in a row. They're ranked 6th. Haven't seen them out of the play-ins in a while this year. Atlanta is at 500. They're struggling right now. They don't have Dejounte Murray right now. Their star guard, Trae Young's partner in the backcourt. Indiana's starting to struggle now. Still a 500 though. Toronto, something's up with Toronto. This team should be a little better than they are, the 9th. And Miami hanging in there at 10th. They're obviously definitely not right now. Something's up. Something's in the air over there. They should be a top 3 team. They're ranked 10th. Both are a game out of the plan. I don't know what's going on in Chicago. They've looked off all year. They might need a coaching change. They are not responding to Billy Donovan right now. Wizards are falling apart. 11-17. 2 games out of the plan. They've lost 7 in a row and 9 of 10. They're falling apart. Yeah. Orlando and Charlotte has just been horrible this year. Obviously, haven't had LaMelo Ball most of the year. Looks like he's coming back tonight, though. LaMelo Ball, he's missed him. He's been out for a month, and the Pistons round out the East. Talked about it yesterday when we had Patrick on my show. He's a big Pistons fan. He's from the Detroit area, so he loves all those crappy Detroit teams. Pistons just lose Kate Cunningham. Who was number 1 pick last year. Really good, talented guard. Their shooting guard, which Pistons are probably cooked now, as if they weren't already. My Pelicans and Grizzlies tied for first. Grizzlies, they are on fire. They've won 6 in a row, and they're nicked up. Desmond Bane's out. Jaw's been nicked in that line. Even Jaron Jackson Jr., because they're still bringing him back very slowly after he had off-season surgery. So they're rolling. Pelicans are up the top 2. Zion's having a big year. You got Denver is ranked 3rd. Phoenix is ranked 4th. They are struggling. They've lost 5 in a row. They got to get back on the horse. Portland is ranked 5th. Dame Lillard is healthy and showing he's a superstar in this league. He's playing great. Clippers are ranked 6th. Clippers are healthy. They're a dangerous team. They're never healthy. Paul George is out. Kawhi's been out in that lineup all year. They get those 2 guys healthy consistently. That team's dangerous. But those 2 guys never stay healthy, especially Kawhi. Yeah, Sacramento's in 7th. Sacramento is starting to look like someone's a basketball team. They've been playing well. Utah's 8th. They've still done a hot start, but they're still hanging around. A lot better than we thought they'd be. They completely blew up their team this offseason. You got Dallas is ranked 9th. Well, what's going on in Dallas? They should be a lot better. Luka needs some more help, but Luka's dropping 30-35 triple doubles every night, and he still is not doing anything special. And then Golden State's 14-14. Something's up in Golden State. They are 2-12 on the road, like I just said. Something's up in Golden State. I don't know what's going on. Minnesota is a half game out of the play-in. Something is wrong there as well. I know Towns is out, and he's a great player, but they should be a lot better than they are. Something's up in Minnesota. Lakers playing better, still 11-16. They still are not a good team. I'm telling you, this team is not going to go anywhere. Maybe they'll get the 10th seed, but this team is still not good. Sorry, LeBron. Thunder are at 13th, and then you got the Spurs and the Rockets at the very bottom. All right, let's do some game picks for the NFL. Week 15, we're in the home stretch. First Night Football, 49ers against the Seahawks. Big game. 49ers lead that division. Seattle's 2 games behind them. They're the last spot in the NFC right now. Comes to the playoff picture. I'm going to take the Niners. I liked what I saw from Brock Purdy. When they blew out the Tampa Bay Buccaneers this past week, they got so much talent on my team on both sides of the ball. If they get consistent quarterback play, they're a Super Bowl contender. I'll take the Niners. A couple Saturday games. At 1 o'clock, we have Colts against the Vikings. I'm gonna take the Vikings. That Colts offense is abysmal. I don't know why Matt Ryan is still in there. I would just throw Ellinger in there to see what the kid's got. He didn't show much in the couple of games he started right before they fired Frank Reich, but this Matt Ryan is bleached and he is cooked. He looks like he just looks dead out there. I'm taking the Vikings to bounce back. 4:30, Ravens Browns. I'm taking the Ravens. May not have Lamar Jackson back, but the Browns are terrible. Watson has not looked right since coming back. The Browns have struggled all year defensively. I'm taking the Ravens. 8:15, Dolphins Bills. Huge game. Dolphins surprised the Bills earlier in the year and beat them. That was when Tua got hurt the first time, and then the week later he got hurt even worse. And then of course now he's back. I'm gonna take the Bills. Bills right now are just firing on all cylinders. They still got one of the league's best defense despite their injuries. Josh Allen is playing his butt off. Miami's slumping a bit. Tua's struggling a little bit. I'll take the Bills. Onto your Sunday games, you got Falcons Saints. On paper, this looks like a crap game, but it's actually very important. Falcons are only a game out of first in that awful NFC South. Even the Saints are only 2 games out. Both teams are good. Desmond Ritter's first career start. I want to take the Falcons. This kid Ritter, I didn't love any of the quarterbacks coming out. I'm not sold on Kenny Pickett. Malik Willis, I thought maybe he's got a very talented arm. He can make plays with his legs, but very raw. He obviously hasn't looked great when he's gotten action this year in Tennessee. None of these other guys I love, but Desmond Ridder is a guy who I thought had some potential. He had a nice tenure at Cincinnati, won a lot of games. So we'll see what he can do. I'll take Atlanta. I think Desmond Ridder goes out there and plays pretty well, and I'll take the Atlanta Falcons. Steelers, Panthers. Steelers are pretty much done, but Panthers all of a sudden are 1 game out of first. By the way, Steve Wilkes, he's making the full-time coach. He's doing a great job. I want to take Carolina. Sam Darnold's awful, but the Steelers' secondary is depleted. I think he'll go out there and probably have another game where he only throws the ball 25, 27 times for 130 yards. And the Carolina will run the football. They're running football really well right now, and I think that's what they'll do. Yeah, I'll take Carolina. All of a sudden, like I said, they're 1 game out of first place, and that team's horrible. Eagles Bears. Oh Lord, that's going to be a drubbing. Eagles are going to easily win that game. Eagles probably the best team in the league. The Bears are awful, just absolutely horrendous. I love Justin Fields. He's making a lot of plays with his legs. I think he will make some plays with his legs, but the Eagles are going to win that game. Chiefs Texans. What is going on? Who made the schedule this week? Chiefs Texans. Chiefs by probably 3 touchdowns. They're going to blow Houston out of the water. I think Houston almost beat Dallas last week, but now they're facing probably the best quarterback in the game in Mahomes. Definitely the Chiefs in that one. Cowboys Jaguars. This is an interesting game. Jacksonville's playing pretty well. They're putting up a lot of points every single week. They play Dallas. I think it's a close game, but I'm going to take Dallas. I am going to take Dallas. They're playing very well right now. I'll take the Cowboys. Lions Jets. This is a big game. Jets right now are just on the outside looking in, technically in a 3-way tie for that last playoff spot in the AFC with the Chargers and the New England Patriots technically have the spot right now. Lions, they're playing some good football. They are a game out of the last spot in the NFC. I'm going to take my Jets. This is going to be an interesting game because you got the Lions, who are a team that could put up 30, 40 points, but isn't great defensively. And the Jets are a team not going to score a lot, but they have a great defense. So definitely a clash there. Will be a real physical football game, but I'm going to take the Jets. On to your 4 o'clock games, 4:05, Cardinals, Broncos. There are some bad games this week. Holy crap. There are some good ones, but there are some bad ones. Cardinals are cooked. Just lost their quarterback for the year in Kyler Murray. Broncos, that experiment has completely failed. I'm going to take Arizona. I don't trust Denver. I'm not even sure Russell Wilson's going to play. Depending on Hackett's a 1.5 feet out the door, I'll take Arizona. McCoy's a pretty good backup. They got a great defense, Denver. They might only give up 16 points, but their offense isn't going to score more than 13 more. I'm going to take Arizona. Neither team inspires any confidence, but I guess Arizona a little more than Denver. Patriots, Raiders. I'm going to take the Patriots. It's just they need them to lose, but the Raiders are a dumpster fire. Belichick's going to light McDaniels up. I know that they got some injuries at their running back position, but they have a great defense. That Raiders team is depleted, is done, cooked. They're terrible, complete dumpster fire. Belichick's gonna. I think Belichick is gonna cook something up for that, and is gonna dominate the Raiders' offense, and the Raiders can't stop anything. So I'll take the Patriots. Titans Chargers at 425. Big game. Titans were gonna lead the South. 2-game lead on Jacksonville. Chargers trying to get into the playoffs. I'm gonna take the Chargers. Titans are struggling. They've lost their last couple. They gave up 36 points and lost by 2 scores to Jacksonville. Chargers pick up a big win on Sunday against Miami, though. Staley probably needs to get into the playoffs to save his job. That honestly still shouldn't save his job. He's not a good coach, but that's probably what will do it. I'll take the Chargers. They're getting healthier. You got your receivers back. Troy Bosa is on his way back. So I'll take the Chargers. Bengals and Buccaneers. I'm going to take the Bengals. Bengals are rolling right now. The O-line has gelled. Joe Burrow and the offense is locked in. The defense is playing well. Bucs, they just look like a mess. He needs to retire. He's done. Great career. Maybe the greatest quarterback ever. But he's done. Their O-line's banged up. Bengals are going to get a lot of pressure on Brady. He'll make more mistakes just like he did last week in San Francisco. I'll take the Bengals. Sunday Night Football, Giants Commanders, big game. They tied a couple of weeks ago. They right now they're both in the playoffs right now. Pretty sure. No, yeah. So I correct myself earlier. Seahawks are not in the playoffs right now. I think they're half game out. Yeah, they're half game out, and then Detroit's like a game or so out. And I'm gonna take the Commanders. Giants are not playing well. Saquon's nicked up. They got a lot of injuries on offense. Daniel Jones is not playing right. Their defense is struggling. Defense gave up 28 points a game over their last 6 games after giving up just 18 the first 7 on a per-game basis. Taylor Heinicke's playing well. I'm taking the Commanders. You never know. They might get Chase Young back. Monday Night Football. Rams, Packers. See, on paper, when they made it in the preview, they probably thought, this is going to be a great game. Maybe the 2 best teams in the conference. And then the season happened. The NFL writers are not happy with. I'm sure not happy with that. I'm gonna take the Packers. I don't trust Baker Mayfield with my life. Packers defense has not been very good this year, but I just don't trust Baker. Rams offense is depleted. Packers team isn't much better. Aaron Rodgers has looked pretty much washed. He's probably should retire. But I'll take the Packers. They're a little bit less worse off than the Rams, I guess. Take a look at the standings. AFC East Bills back on top. They're 2 games ahead of Miami. Then you got New England and Jets in a tie, but the Patriots have the tiebreaker there. Ravens and Bengals tied for first at 9-4 in the North, but Ravens beat them, so they're ahead of the Bengals, and they got the Browns and Steelers at 5-8. AFC South Titans at 7-6. Jacksonville 5-8. It's 4-8-1, and the Texans 1-11-1. They are so bad. The Texans, they shouldn't be in the league. They are so bad. Division is not good overall. AFC West, you have the Chiefs 10-3 on top. They're pretty much rolling. Chargers 7-6, and they got the Rays at 5-8, and the Broncos at 3-10. NFC East Eagles are 12-1, already clinched the playoffs. Cowboys 10-3, and then Commanders and Giants 7-5-1. Commanders have a tiebreaker there because they both tied, and then I've got a big game in primetime this week. Vikings in the North are 10-3, I believe. Since them and the Lions both only have 4 games left, I think if they need the max number is basically 1 to win that division. Lions 6-7, but they're playing good football. 1-4-5. Only lost 1 game last in really the last month and a half or so. Got the Packers at 5-8 and the Bears at 3-10. NFC South. What is going on in that division? That division is so bad. Bucs are 6-7 and they're in first place. Carolina, who is a dumpster fire. They already fired their coach. They traded away 2 of their best players from McCaffrey, Robbie Anderson. They're on their 3rd quarterback. Sam Darnold might be the worst quarterback in the league. They got nothing over there, and they're 1 game out of first. Browns are 5-8. They just benched their quarterback. They're 5-8, and even the Saints, who have been horrible, so many injuries, are 2 games out of first at 4-9. We have Niners are 9-4. Seattle at 7-6. And Arizona and the Rams are both 4-9. Take a look at the playoff standings. In the AFC, the Bills are the 1 seed right now. They're a top team. Chiefs are the 2 seed, both are 10-3, but Bills beat the Chiefs. The Ravens are the 3 seed. Titans are the 4 seed. Because those teams lead their divisions. The 3 wild cards, the Bengals have the first spot. Second spot is Miami. Third spot is New England. And they have the Chargers and the Jets right there. The NFC, Eagles already clinched the playoff spot. They're the 1 seed. Vikings are the 2 seed. Niners are the 3 seed. Bucs are somehow the 4 seed. Bucs have the same record as the Lions, who will be the second team out right now, and they're hosting the playoff game. What is this? And the entire NFC East is in the playoffs right now. Cowboys, Commanders, Giants are your wild cards. We got Seattle is right there, and Detroit's is right now hanging on for dear life. For dear life, I mean, they're pretty close. They're playing some good football. And last bit of news before I close the show out, WWE has released Mandy Rose. She lost the NXT Women's Championship last night. She, there's some behind the scenes stuff for sure that hasn't come out yet. Hopefully some more stuff comes out so I can get that to you guys. But she's been released. She was champ for 413 days as the third longest. She was the third longest reigning NXT Women's Champion in NXT history. The only 2 women hold it longer were Shayna Baszler at 416 days and Asuka had for 522 days. Not sure what happened, but she is no longer with WWE. All right, that's all I got for you guys. I'm going to take a little break for the holidays. I will not see you guys till after the holiday, possibly until January. I'll let you guys know. But have a happy holiday. And until next time, so long and have a great day.